Good evening and a very warm welcome. You're watching India Prime with me, Sana Khan. An assembly constituency in Chennai in the South Indian state of Tamil Nadu is going to polls next week. But make no mistake, this is no ordinary by-poll. It is a seat that has fallen vacant after the death of former Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha. Hectic but shocking developments have taken centre stage. The late Chief Minister's coffin for votes, then cash for votes, followed by income tax department raids. The OPS faction and the Sasikala faction crossing all lines, all in the name of the late Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha's legacy. Tonight, we try and understand the kind of politics at play here, the significance of the RK Nagar by-poll and the new lows we witnessed in the past 24 hours. Those visuals on your screens came in yesterday, where you can see J. Jayalalitha as she was placed at the time of her death in her coffin, same being played out in the name of votes there, in the name of Jayalalitha. Well, joining me right now over the phone is Apsara Reddy, AIDMK spokesperson. She joins me from Chennai. Apsara, thanks so much for joining us here. First of all, let me start by asking you, how important is this by-poll for your faction of the party?
I think any election is taken very seriously by us because it's an opportunity for us to serve the people and take Amma's legacy forward. I think Purachit Amma's home constituency, RK Nagar, is something which is very dear to us because there's so many things in the pipeline which she couldn't actually complete because of her sad demise. So it is a very crucial election for Tamil Nadu. It's a very crucial election for us.
Right. And, will the outcome of this election firmly decide who, the people think are rightful heirs to Amma's legacy?
Not at all. I think people very clearly understand that the party that Mr. MGR, Purachi Thalaivar MGR and Purachi Thalaivi, the late Jayalalitha madam, nurtured, worked hard for and built is the party which Mr. T.T. Vidyanathan and under the leadership of Sasikala madam is taking forward, because they are the true inheritors of her legacy. There's no doubt in the minds of the people. OPS is seen as a betrayer.
All right. Do stay with me, Apsara. We're hoping to get in more guests as well on the show in just a few minutes. Another development.
Sorry, I'm committed to be somewhere else. I can finish this quickly with you. If you have any other questions. I have to be somewhere else.
Absolutely. I'm going to come to you then with this. What do you make of the video of the money distribution that has gone viral?
I think at every election, there's always allegations of money distribution. And I think there is a central hand at play in kind of trying to hamper down or curb down the spirit of Mr. T.T. Vidyanathan, who's taking the legacy of Amma forward. I think people are very threatened by the public support we're garnering. I think a central party like the BJP, which has absolutely no pull in the state like Tamil Nadu with lackluster leaders, is trying to make an entry somehow and kind of muscle its way into the state. It's not going to happen. People can see through it.
And, Apsara, many people right now looking at these developments say that, both these factions of the AIDMK are squandering Amma's legacy, destroying the party that she so carefully had built up.
Hello?
Apsara, can you hear me?
Hello? I think I've lost you. Can you repeat that question?
I can hear you. I'm saying there are certain people who say that both these factions of the AIDMK have squandered Amma's legacy and destroyed the party that she so carefully built.
Not at all. In fact, not at all. In fact, Mr. O. Paneerselvam was part of the AIDMK until he decided to have this metaphysical conversation with her spirit, and then overnight turned betrayer, because he was the one who proposed Chinnamma's name as General Secretary, as a Chief Minister. All this is history. But then overnight, he turned out to be somebody who changed his colors. So he is the one who people can see through as somebody who is a betrayer, who is hungry for power, and people will never vote for him.
And, what if Madhusudanan wins of the OPS faction? Will you accept him as the real AIDMK and heir to Amma's legacy?
I really respect, everybody, any senior citizen in this country deserves the respect they deserve, and if not for anything else, but for their age. So I think we all look up to Mr. Madhusudanan for his age, but I don't think he can serve the people. I'm sure he has multiple, as Mr. T.T. Vidyanathan said, he's a very older gentleman who has other things to attend to. I don't know whether he can attend to the people.
All right. And one last question, Dinakaran was someone who was kept away from the Poets Garden residence as well, and by the party, by Jayalalitha. How do you justify to the people that he is fighting elections from her very constituency?
I think anybody who knows Purachidaledi Amma, everybody knows her to be somebody who is very strict, and she always recalibrates her cabinet, her serving secretaries, her ministers, people in the party, and people have always been taken back after, after a little bit of a friction, so to speak. But Mr. T.T. Vidyanathan is somebody who's worked for the party, even on the sidelines, even when he was ousted from the party. He builds the party, he builds cadre, he understands the political dynamics and the nuances of the party. And I think he met Jayalalitha Madam even when he was outside. I think they had private meetings. He was somebody who was looked upon fondly by Madam Jayalalitha. So all these things happen when you're an intense family and there's lots of emotions involved. Politically, she has every right to recalibrate, her party from time to time. That doesn't reflect poorly on him at all.
And what about the fact that the DMK could very well gain in these by-polls because of these two factions now in the AIDMK?
Can you repeat that question again?
I'm saying what do you have to say about the fact that DMK might very well gain from the split within the AIDMK?
The strong contender is only Mr. T.T. Vidyanathan. We will definitely win the election. I don't want to talk about the DMK or dignify the DMK. They've been out of power for far too long. People have voted them out. And every opposition tactic or kind of dharnas or dramas or rail rokos they do have been booed out by the people. So DMK is absolutely irrelevant. The candidate doesn't stand a chance. So they can't make any headway. And OPS is looked at as a betrayer. People can see through it. So I'm 100% sure we will definitely be talking to you again once you win this election.
All right. Best of luck, Apsara, there. We understand you have to go somewhere. Thanks so much for joining us here with those inputs. All right, joining me right now is Ms. Kalyani Shankar, political commentator. Thank you, Ms. Kalyani Shankar. Now, cash for votes is something that we've all heard about, seen in the past. But what about this coffin for votes at the same time? Rather brazen and shocking.
Well, you see, it has always been brazen. Even last election, not the UP election, before that also in Punjab, every other election they have been able to seize notes from various candidates, and the Election Commission will give you the figures. It's all running up to crores and crores of rupees. So whatever ceiling which the Election Commission has put on the candidates, it is just like that. Nobody is following it, and they are spending 10 times, 20 times more than that. And in Tamil Nadu particularly, even last election, I think 2016 election and also even 2014 election, the amount of money which was seized was quite high. And even much before that, the DMK was supposed to be paying money, 500 rupees for each one of the, when they were given food, below that leaves they were given money. So this money power in Tamil Nadu is nothing new as far as I could see. And this time, they are trying to, what the TTV Janakaran's people are saying is that Paneer Selvam will join hands with BJP, and they are using the central government's power to sort of, raid them. So that is what they are complaining.
All right, Ms. Kalyani Shankar, please hold on to that thought. I'm going to come back to you in just a bit. Meanwhile, another development has taken place, and we're going to talk to you, show you those visuals. Even as the Sasikala faction is grappling with an important election, income tax officials on Friday morning began searches on several premises belonging to Tamil Nadu's Health Minister, C. Vijay Bhaskar, and his relatives in Chennai, in other districts as well, in the wake of complaints that he was involved in cash distribution to voters in RK Nagar constituency, where a by-election is scheduled on the 12th of April. Recently, a video surfaced alleging that money was being distributed to RK Nagar constituency voters. We would like to tell our viewers that this is an unverified video and not meant to be an allegation against any party or any faction. But what can be seen in this video is a man who apparently has record of voters and is distributing 2,000 rupee notes to the voters in the place, as per that video. Meanwhile, Bala is also joining me right now, senior journalist from Chennai. Bala, which way is the wind blowing here?
It's very tough to say because, see, I personally spoke to a couple of voters in RK Nagar. I happened to see a very old lady who said that if I had this cash given to me, I could have probably helped my grandson get a proper treatment because he's suffering from fever. That was the comment. which is very, it was very heartening for me to, get that comment across. Another comment which actually came across from very many areas like Kurukupet, which happens to be one of the, key areas in RK Nagar. All the people actually, have been fed with money in different ways. You won't even believe what I'm going to tell you now. I have actually heard that, inside laddus, actually, there are actually the golden rings going. Inside the normal idlis, you are actually getting these golden rings going across to these people. Wallets, we are talking about wallets which are getting charged for votes, and direct cash distributions that are being given. All of that is being given. I will give you one more fact of the matter is, nearly 50 crores is the target which is going to get distributed across to voters. Cash for votes is literally happening across the entire RK Nagar constituency.
Right.
Allegations are from every faction. TTV Dinakaran says that, OPS faction is giving it. OPS says that, DMK faction is giving it. But everyone is feeding every other voter possible.
All right, let me go across to my colleague Archit Seshadri, who's standing by in the newsroom. Archit, let's talk about the significance of the results of the RK Nagar by-polls. That perhaps is going to be a very significant milestone in Dravidian politics, isn't it?
Absolutely, Sana. You know what's interesting about all of this is the extent of the politics in play. As we just heard Bala talk about, the laddus or the idlis, or the extent to which people are going to grab those votes, and sort of internationally to add that flavor into this. I mean, I don't think I've ever really seen the extent for one seat. People going this extent. What it does also show is that the lack of unity there, perhaps the split vote in Tamil Nadu in terms of who's on whose side, Dinakaran or OPS, and the coffin. I mean, people really going all out to really grab those votes. When we were there for the funeral as well as the Sashikala OPS clash just a few months back. And I mean, you could really tell it was divided and there was really not a sense of unity. We also even reported earlier on that there was possibility that superstar Rajnikant may even come in. This just all goes to show that there is a lot of politics in play. People are doing whatever they can to grab those votes, those cast for votes. So, I mean, it's just a waiting game, not even a week left, and still no clarity at this point.
Absolutely. Seshadri Chari now also joins us on this show. Thanks so much for speaking to us. What do you make of the latest developments that are taking place? Coffin for vote, cash for votes, and will the Rajnikant factor, according to you, help Gangai Amaren of the BJP? Remember, Rajnikant posed with him, sending political circles in a tizzy.
Number one, basically the kind of campaigning that is going on from the side of ADMK and the liberal group shows to what a low the whole campaigning has gone down to. Basically, what they are thinking is that in order to get sympathy vote, this is the extent to which they have fallen. So I don't think people are liking it in any case. And the whole thing looks very cheap. I mean, if not derogatory. But at the same time, I think Rajnikant factor will help a little bit. Of course, for the BJP, it will be a very, very tough struggle to win the elections.
Right.
If not, at least to get quite a formidable number of votes. But even then, I'm sure Rajnikant factor will help.
Okay. Let me get in Dhanya Rajendran, senior journalist and editor-in-chief from the News Minute. She also joins us right now. Dhanya, thanks so much for joining us. What, according to you, is unfolding? Give us a perspective, and also how important are these by-polls for the relevance of OPS?
Well, I think the by-poll in RK Nagar is relevant for TTV Dinakaran's existence in AIDMK, or rather his survival in the AIDMK, and the same with O Paneerselvam. Both these factions know that whoever wins this poll, they will have an upper hand as far as the party is concerned. In fact, people belonging to the O Paneerselvam faction openly say that if they can manage to win this election, then they can wean away a lot of leaders from the AIDMK. There is a lot of dissatisfaction amongst AIDMK leaders that they have to follow TTV Dinakaran, who's been made the Deputy General Secretary of the party. So if the man who's leading the party cannot win election, then whatever little faith that people have in him, that gets eroded. So OPS faction, of course, hopes that people will come over to their side. So this election definitely crucial, but I think what's playing out is a complete mockery of democracy. All reporters who have been covering this election know very well that money is being given left, right and center to all voters, and it's a complete mockery of democracy that's unfolding in
Absolutely.
Nagar.
Rather unfortunate what we're getting to hear before the April 12th by-poll. Let me also go quickly across to Kalyani Shankar, who's waiting patiently over the phone line. Ms. Kalyani Shankar, we've talked about coffin for vote, cash for vote. Do you think now that these IT raids that are taking place in Chennai at this time, what do you make of these, and will these raids have any impact on the way in which people will vote?
Well, you see, it is already exposed now that these people are having money, and particularly TTV Dinakaran and then we, Palaniswami's government, they are definitely now in the dock. I mean, when they will seize the money from the minister of the sitting minister of the present government, certainly it goes against the Dinakaran faction, Shashikala faction. So I think they think that it might help the Palaniswami group. And of course, as far as the BJP is concerned, or the DMK has got a very weak candidate, whereas, OPS group, he is a very old ADMK leader, so he might have a chance. But it depends on who cuts into whose vote, and then the BJP will cut into some other people's votes, and then ADMK will cut into, Shashikala faction will cut into some other votes. So that is how the cutting into each other's votes is there. But as of now, according to my sources, UPS group has got a better chance. But you never know. They might even postpone the election, when they are saying that somebody has gone to court already today, Madras High Court.
All right.
So you never know. It's such a very fluid situation. But my feeling is that perhaps OPS faction
is in the lead.
But it's a very, very, very crucial thing for the OPS. Because you see, none of them, this is the first election where they are not going with a symbol. Two-leaf symbol is very, very important. Neither faction has got the two-leaf symbol. So that is one big drawback for the ADMK.
All right, and therefore advantage OPS scam. Bala, do these IT raids surprise you? Perhaps, because it's very rare for a ruling party to be subjected to these kind of, practices, subjected to an income tax raid days before a crucial election.
Yeah, because see, the latest figures which I have received is 4.5 crores has been unearthed. 85 crores worth of gold and documents have been, seized from Vijay Bhaskar's premises across Tamil Nadu, which says for itself that, cash for vote was actually, happening and is happening on a very large scale. Number one. Number two is, the willingness of the voters to get these cash across and go in for a vote which is going to decide literally the fate of the government. Kalyani Shankar is absolutely right, because there might be advantages going for OPS. But yesterday, I also read in Danyana's News Minute that it was very, very clearly, a chance that literally OPS lost by putting the coffin of Jayalalitha and then asking for votes, which actually came for very, very critical remarks across very many factions in Tamil Nadu. What happens actually, the more closer we are going to the days, the more higher actually the techniques in which the bribe is going to be dispersed across to voters. This is what's going to be very, very crucial in the days to come.
Also, let me get in Mr. Seshadri Chari, if he's still on the line with us. Mr. Seshadri Chari, quite rare for a ruling party to be subjected to income tax raids. Your thoughts?
Yeah, see, it's not just the income tax rates, but these raids should have taken place right in the beginning, because it's very evident that the Shashikala faction is trying very hard to come back to power and not only just hold on to power, but also legitimize what they have illegally got. So this legitimization has to take place by winning the elections. And somewhere or the other, they are they are under the impression, and truly so, that they are fighting a losing battle. They have already lost the sympathy which they should have probably thought they would have gained in the first place. So OPS faction probably has a lot of more sympathy. But at the same time, the kind of campaigning that they are carrying on looks very cheap. So in these circumstances, it's not the question of who is going to win, but the whole thing is how they are going to conduct the election. And what more law we are going to see in this particular election, which is absolutely it's a very strategic election for all the parties
Absolutely.
concerned.
Let's just hope we don't have to see any more lows than we've already seen in the last 24 hours. Revati, WION's correspondent, also joins us right now. Revati, we are talking about the IT raids as well, but you know, in a contest where you have the likes of Madhusudanan, Dinakaran, Mardu Ganesh, Ganga Yamaren, Deepa Jayakumar, you know, who does the electorate go with is the big question. What's the mood like back there in Chennai in the RK Nagar seat?
Well, let me tell you what the locals in RK Nagar are saying now. Right after the IT raids, I went to RK Nagar, I spoke to the locals there, and they seem to be least bothered about what is happening in the city. Now, IT raids across more than 30 places in Chennai, and the supporters are clearly saying that it does not matter to us, the IT raids or any sort of such steps, even just 5 days before the elections, will not change the perception of the locals there, will not change the perception of the members there. They seem to say that we earn for the day, we eat for the day, that's all it is to us. Now, what happens at big places, what happens, those are bigger issues, those are things that does not bother us, those are things that does not concern us. We earn for the day and live. So as far as we are concerned, these raids do not matter or does not alter our perception as far as where our votes go. That is the kind of reaction that I got from the supporters of the Shashikala camp there. And now, as far as the OPS faction is concerned, there are a lot of them who are campaigning as well as going around justifying even the kind of campaigning that we saw the other day by displaying the replica of Jayalalitha's dead body, saying that it was to bring out the truth. So desperation is what we are seeing here by both the factions to try and prove that they are really eligible to be the successors of former Chief Minister Jayalalitha.
All right, Revati, thanks so much for joining us there with your inputs. Dhanya, coming to you now, there is a possibility that Dinakaran wins. Of course, that'll be a shot in the arm for the Sasikala faction. What next for Sasikala? Does that open doors for her to claim the Chief Minister's chair once she's back in the show?
No, well, Shashikala cannot claim the Chief Minister's chair at least for the next 10 years, because the Indian law is very clear. She's gone to jail for 4 years. She cannot contest for 6 more years. But yes, the doors are definitely open for TTV Dinakaran. If he does win the elections, then there is no doubt that he would stake claim, he will stake claim for the Chief Minister's post. That's really a given as of now. And as far as Shashikala's family is concerned, it is vital for them that the control of the party and the government remains with them, which is the reason why Shashikala tried to remove O. Pannirselvam, though he was a Chief Minister who was becoming favorable amongst the population in Tamil Nadu. He had, during the Jallikattu protest, there was of course some murmurs in favor of O. Pannirselvam, but Shashikala knew that she had to remove him and the family had to take control. I think the same pattern will be repeated if TTV Dinakaran does win these elections and he becomes a member of the Legislative Assembly. Then really nothing can stop him from becoming the Chief Minister. And all the MLAs who have been supporting Shashikala till now will easily shift their focus to TTV Dinakaran. That's what we are going to see. But if he does not win the elections, then his future in the party definitely is under a huge threat.
All right, Ms. Kalyani Shankar, would you agree with what Dhanya has just said?
Well, yes, absolutely. Actually, she has put it very rightly. And of course, but Dinakaran is very, very important now. Once the party goes out of the hands of Shashikala and Dinakaran, actually, he's a dummy for her, then the Shashikala faction is more or less out in the Tamil Nadu politics. That even though they may have money, but then already they don't have the support of the people. Nobody wants Shashikala, nobody likes her. So that hatred of Shashikala is carried down to Dinakaran also. So that is one reason why their candidate is weak. If they had put anybody else, it would have been much better for Shashikala. But coming from the family, Dinakaran has this problem.
Right.
So I think that it's going to be very, very interesting elections to watch. And for all the factions and also for all the parties. And BJP is trying to get a foothold there. So now they are trying to see how many votes they can get. If they get a good number, then they say, no, we are moving forward. Of course, OPS definitely, if they win, then they'll say, no, we are the real ADMK. And there are lots of, positioning which will take place after the election.
Right.
And it's going to be very, very interesting.
Absolutely, absolutely. Before we conclude, quickly, last words. What do you have to say, Mr. Seshadri Chari, as we conclude this discussion? What does one have to look forward to? New lows or an exciting, face-off with these contenders?
No, it's a very important election for one single factor, that this was the constituency which was represented by Jayalalitha herself. So this is an ordinary constituency. It is a constituency of an iconic woman who ruled over ADMK and the state. Therefore, anyone who wins this particular seat will be seen as the representative of Amma. So that is the whole fight. That is why the Shashikala camp is absolutely desperate. And that is also the reason why the OPS faction wants to get as much sympathy votes as possible. So in this factor, I think they are going to cut against one another's vote.
Right.
I'm not very hopeful. I'm not saying that the BJP is going to be it's a very safe seat for BJP. But yes, they will certainly make a mark.
Make a dent.
But I don't think this election result will pronounce the final verdict as far as Shashikala faction is concerned. They may continue with the government, but they will have some hiccups. Okay. But ultimately, they will try to increase their stranglehold on the government and the party to some greater extent.
Right.
No doubt.
And Bala, last word from you. Desperate attempts by the AIDMK factions, in fact, all the stakeholders, because, we have talked about it. This is a crucial bipole in, RK Nagar.
Definitely yes, because this election will seal fate of the future of Tamil Nadu. The most important thing is this bipole is being watched by every person who is more keen to have a brighter future and good governance, as a matter of fact, because Tamil Nadu has not seen good governance for a couple of months ever since Jayalalitha passed away and OPS took over, and now we have Edappadi Palaniswamy. And all of this will be laid to rest with a good decision by
absolutely,
the people.
And it all boils down to the 12th of April. That's the day when the crucial bipole is scheduled. Thanks so much, Bala, Ms. Kalyani Shankar, Dhanya Rajendran, also Mr. Seshadri Chari for joining us here on this discussion. That's it then on India Prime. Taking a short break. More news and updates follow in just a bit.